Welcome back to the 13th Annual Dallas International Film Festival. I'm here with the filmmaker behind A Good Son.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Weinert, and I'm the writer-director of A Good Son.
So where did this story come from? How did you kind of come apart this?
It's actually based on a feature that I wrote, which is based on the true story of my friend Mike and his relationship with his father, and how his father called him up in the middle of the night, said, come over, and when he got there, he handed him a Hefty bag and said, I'm done, put this over my head and suffocate me. And so basically the feature is about the year between when he asked his son, who said no, and how he tried to get every member of the family to put this bag over his head. And so the short is really just a tiny little piece of that. And the hope is that eventually we'll get to make the feature.
As far as being that type of proof of concept feeling with it, how much fun was it to compact that story into such, it must have been tough, but also it must have been interesting to just edit down the idea that you got to get this specific part out for this portion.
It was fun. It became kind of an exercise, to just keep stripping away what's the essence of this relationship. And so certain characters that are in the feature didn't make it into the short. There's a sister, but she's not in the short. But it was actually really fun, and we knew going into it, my DP and I, exactly what we wanted to show. So yeah, for us it didn't take very long. Once we decided to do it, I think we had the script together in 3 days.
Wow. Well, talking about working with DP, location-wise, where did you guys shoot this? And
in my neighbor's garage.
Okay.
We went. I'm from Austin, and I've been writing and producing in Austin for 8 years. So I knew everyone in the community, and I have lovely neighbors. And so I went to them and said, "Hey, I have a death scene I need to do in a garage. Can I borrow your garage?" And they said, "Sure." And then there's a fantastic Army-Navy store in Austin that the owner, Manny Pacheco, was like, "Sure, you can shoot a scene here. Can I be in it?" So we gave him a line. And the other house location, I had a wonderful location manager that I've worked with on all the features, and she found this spectacular house with this amazing view. And the owner, Steve Singer, was a journalist for years and kind of understood the business and didn't freak out when we said we're going to show up at your house with 20 people and all this stuff. And he was fine. So I got very, very lucky.
As far as, has your friend been able to see the short version yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
My friend who it really happened to?
Yeah.
No, and he lives in Rhode Island, and the short is actually going to play at the Boston Film Festival, so he'll hopefully get a chance to see it there. But no, and he hasn't read the feature yet either, so
wow.
So this is all happening very quickly, but yeah.
What was the most difficult part about shooting this short version compared to knowing fully what your script is and knowing what you want to do with it?
Really, there were no challenge. Honestly, it wasn't really that hard at all. The heart of both pieces is this relationship between a 75-year-old grandfather, his 45-year-old son, and then his 15-year-old grandson, and that stays the essence of that stays the same, and in both the short and the longer process. So it really wasn't very hard at all to just take a little bit of that, because that relationship stays. I always wanted to do a movie, a loving relationships between father and sons. I don't think we see that. We always have the prodigal son, and we have the, daddy's dying, so I have to come to terms with him before he passes, kind of those movies we seem to be making. But I couldn't really think of a loving father, son, grandson relationship movie, and that's what I wanted to explore. I thought that was really it. When he told the story to me originally, there was so much love in it, and I just thought I'd like to see that on film. So
is it going to be interesting knowing that it is generationally so wide ranging?
I hope so. I hope the goal would be to try and get 3 fantastic actors, one who's a teenager, maybe probably at the start of their career, and then someone maybe a more recognizable name for the 45-year-old. I mean, we have a lot of 45-year-old white actors in Hollywood. And then I think it's a great opportunity for a 75-year-old actor who may not be getting offered parts. So the actor in the short, Marco Perella, if you look him up on IMDb, he has literally been in every single thing that is shot in Texas. He has a long career, and he was just wonderful. So, we'll see. The goal would be, hopefully someone will want to take on the feature. I don't have to direct it. And, maybe get someone like, our fantasy is Alan Arkin. So, someone like that. But I don't know, how many 75-year-old parts are you seeing?
It's not many, yeah.
So,
well, Alan, if you're watching.
Yes, Alan, if you're watching.
I'd love to ask, you said you don't necessarily have to direct, but I love the fact that it's a story of men directed and written by a woman. And that's ironic, but also fitting. I think a great perspective of being able to see them, and for all their merit, you're coming from a different perspective. Well,
I did. My DP is a man, and I this all came about because I let him read the feature, and he was on a plane. And he texted me to say, I just paid for the Wi-Fi because I finished reading the feature and I was literally crying. And the people next to me were like, why are you crying? And he's like, I just read this movie. And then he mentioned it to a production company in LA. And they literally came to me and said, hey, what do you want to do with this? And I was like, I want to make a short. And they said, great, we'll make it. So and that executive producer now is also a man. So it is interesting that they related to the story. Like, it really struck both of them profoundly. And so I knew at that point, I've hit something. If all the men whose opinions I respect are telling me this is working, then I have been listening to the men around me and how they speak and how they relate to each other. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hate making it like a gender thing, but yes, several people have noted that it is interesting that I wrote a movie about men that other men seem to really respond to.
What was it like when you heard that you were going to be able to show the film here in Dallas?
It was fantastic because I've been here several times having produced a bunch of features. And so to come back as a director is fantastic. And I live in Austin. I'm from Dallas. I'm originally from New York, but my producer of my short is from Dallas, Farrah White. And so I don't know. For us, it's like amazing to be here. And everyone's been so nice. I love this festival. They go out of their way to make the filmmaker feel important. And that doesn't always happen. It's not an intentional thing, but other festivals are just so huge. They're like these huge events that you can sometimes, especially with a short, kind of get lost in the shuffle. And here, they go out of their way to make everyone feel special and important. And if we hadn't gotten in, I would have been very depressed. So the day I got the email, I was like, ah! And we've been planning this 5 days up here for like a couple months now. I've put my restaurant list together. I'm so excited.
Well, let's talk about that. I'd love to hear what restaurants you'll put on the list. Oh my gosh,
breadwinners. There's someone on our team who's been talking about breadwinners, and like we just drove past it and there was a line, and I don't know if it's going to happen today, but it's going to happen, Alyssa, I promise. And then, what was it? I've been putting my list together, so now I'm on the spot. But I have like 4 or 5 places I'd like to check out.
That's so cool. I love hearing that from people coming to Dallas.
People know how to eat here. You don't know how to drive, no offense, but you guys know how to eat.
We're too busy in that food coma to worry about other people driving.
About stop signs, apparently. Stop signs are optional here. I had no idea. Well, no one told me that a stop sign here, you just roll through it.
Well, I think it was once said the worst drivers are either in Dallas or Houston or probably both. So it's
is that true? Okay, yeah. Well, good to know. Seatbelts always.
Well, I'm so glad that the film is here, and I would love to know, timetable-wise, do you kind of know? Is there a timetable for when the feature would be able to start?
No, right now we're just trying to get through the festival circuit. So we've had our world premiere, and we're here, and then Boston, and then a few other places domestically, and then we go internationally, and then I think I have a movie, another script I wrote, feature is Intrepid Pictures optioned it, and It looks like it's getting set up somewhere, I don't want to say yet. Once that happens in the next few months, then my manager will take the feature out.
Very cool.
Of A Good Son, and hopefully there'll be nice press about the short, and then we'll just take it out into the marketplace. I would love to see the feature succeed on a larger level, and I know no one is going to let me direct at that level. So, but you can always hope. But I am not married to the idea that I have to direct it. I would just love to see the movie get made, because I do think it does explore two interesting things: loving father-son relationships, but also the idea that right now, I just saw an interview with someone who said in America we think death is optional, and we don't plan for it. And this is a movie about really thinking about the way you want to make your transition and what that looks like. And I actually think it's an important conversation we should be having in this country, especially those baby boomers. There's like a cajillion of them, and they're all going to be thinking about this soon. So,
well, Alan Arkin, if you're watching, and breadwinners for sponsorship in the future. Thank you guys from A Good Son and the Dallas International Film Festival.
Thank you.